forgive my crazy hair. It's been one crazy month and another crazy year. But today in this video, I want to talk about Thanksgiving. I have found that I've rubbed some people the wrong way with my last video about, harvesting a turkey for a Thanksgiving dinner. And I think it's an important discussion to address. So in this video, we're going to talk about religion. We're going to talk about common sense. We're going to talk about why we believe the things that we believe and why we think the way we do. It's great to have beliefs and to have opinions on things. I've always been fascinated with the why. Why do you feel that way? How did you come to that conclusion? And so that's kind of what this video is about. I usually don't do videos like this, but I just thought it was such a fascinating topic of discussion that I had to talk about it. So there's a belief that's shared by many that there's many Western holidays out there that are deep-rooted in paganistic rituals because of associations and undertones that were there thousands of years previous and therefore are paganistic today, even though they may be soft undertones. It's by doing anything on certain holidays would be guilty by association in this paganistic ritual event. So doing anything on the days of Thanksgiving, Christmas, Easter, examples, would be considered paganistic, and Christians should not do anything on those days because you are directly correlating yourself with something that's satanic, so to speak. Got a haircut, feel a lot better now. So naturally, if you are somebody that falls in that ideological viewpoint that anything done on Thanksgiving, Easter, Christmas, New Year's, or whatever, anything that would happen on those days is considered to be paganistic, well, you can have that viewpoint, and that's fine. I encourage everybody to have their viewpoint. But I guess my question is, it comes down to the why, and at what point does intention matter? Because you see in a lot of these videos, people believe that for some reason intention doesn't matter on those days. Intention matters any other day for Christians, right? But for some reason, it doesn't matter on those days. And I've always found that, and I find that argument to be very interesting. I can tell you that my family, we are going to get together, those of us that can, and we are going to have a great day of fellowship together. We're going to give thanks to God like we do every single day for the things that He's blessed us with, and we are going to eat food that was grown and raised on our homestead. If that is a sin or if that's a bad thing, please tell me why. Please tell me how. People will say, well, why would you do it on Thanksgiving Day? Why would you do it? Well, let's talk about common sense, right? Because we can talk about the spirituality aspect of it all day long, but just let's use common sense. Well, I don't need an excuse to feast and have a good time. I don't. I do that regularly as is. Having turkey that's grown on our homestead is not just a Thanksgiving thing, okay? We grow it ourselves. We can have it literally anytime we want it. So let's talk about my transparency, because I'm willing to be transparent and I'm willing to be honest with you guys. So why choose those nationally recognized holidays to get together with family and have a feast and hang out and enjoy each other's company? Because they have those days off. I don't need an excuse to go out to my field, grab a lamb or a cow or a pig or a chicken or a turkey or a duck or quail, rabbit, whatever. I don't need an excuse. I do that. That's part of my lifestyle. But people that are friends of family that don't have times off, most of the time have holiday on these nationally recognized days. So it's very convenient for them to come out and fellowship. And if those family members wanted to come at another time or another day to do the exact same thing we're going to do anyway, great, let's do it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think that, I'm not under this belief that you should only be thankful one time a year. I'm thankful every single day. And for those of you that live like me and live a very agriculture rich life, I know that without God, I don't have a homestead. Without God, I don't have healthy animals. I depend on Him every single day, because without Him, I have nothing. And if you're a farmer and you're a rancher, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's every day is a perpetual blessing that is given to me from the Most High. It's a perpetual blessing. Every single day I know how much of a blessing it is that I am able to do what I do. There is no doubt in my mind. It's without equivocation, 110,000%. Every single day is a blessing from God because of the life that He allows me to live of preparedness and sustainability. There's no if, ands, or buts about it. And those that do live an agricultural rich lifestyle, you already know that. It's something that those that live in the city have really very little understanding about. And yes, every day give glory and thanks to the Most High. Because, like that, He could take it all away. So, give thanks, give glory. And it should be an everyday thing, not once a year thing. And I get that, and I understand that. And those that live an agricultural lifestyle, you get that. But I don't see why, as Christians, it's good to curb that grace and that thanksgiving and that fellowship on certain days of the year because of some paganistic ritual that may or may not have occurred thousands of years ago in a country far, far away. I don't know why I should give precedence and power to that occurred that long ago when it's not even relevant here in 2020 in my homesteading lifestyle. So let's talk common sense real quick. Thanksgiving 2020 is going to be November 26th. It's a Thursday. So my question is, being transparent with you, you already know that I plan to have family and friends over to celebrate and give thanks, just like I do anytime I have family over to give thanks. Give thanks for all this. Can't have it without the Most High. So, is it wrong to do it February 2nd? Is it wrong to do it July 18th? Is it a sin to do it November 23rd? I'm just pulling random dates out of my head because I want to know, is it the action of having family together, giving thanks, eating an animal grown from my homestead? Is that the sin? Is it a sin to eat this guy any other day of the year with friends and family? Or is it only a sin, or is it only bad to do it November 26th or Christmas time or November or January 1st, for New Year's or Easter? Honest question, is it wrong to do it any other time of the year, or is it only wrong when you do it on November 26th? Honest question. And if it's only wrong to do it on November 26th, why? Is it because of the intention of it, or is it just because you can't do anything on that day? These are honest questions I have because this is my lifestyle. It doesn't change. This is day in and day out, and I can do this thanks to the Most High. It's the only reason I can do this. So that's the real question, right? At what point does my intentions actually matter? Because the intention is same if I harvest a turkey and I eat it and I give thanks, July 18th as it is November 26th. The only thing that may change is I may have a bigger gathering because times in the world have elected that certain holidays be granted to people so more people can show up. But outside of the people in attendance, the content and the intent of that celebration doesn't change. Thanksgiving is something that I like to do all the time. And in Christianity, we constantly see this viewpoint of it's not about works. It's not about what you do. It's about why you do them. It's about what's in the heart. So if that's the case, why does it matter what you do on any day? That's, when it comes down to it, that's the crux of the argument. Because I guarantee you, I can find some paganistic undertones and some horrible thing that happened thousands of years ago or recently that happened on a day that you choose to celebrate. I absolutely can. So if I can do that and I can correlate that, does that make what you're doing wrong? Answer is of course not, because you are going to then argue the intent behind why you're doing it. So why does it matter now? Now, I understand the idea and the aspect of, for example, growing up, we never celebrated Santa Claus. I mean, my family's always celebrated Hanukkah, so, I never grew up thinking that Santa Claus is real. It was never a thing. But with that being said, I can understand the argument that you may have if you as a Christian are celebrating Christmas and you're dressing up as Santa Claus and having your kids sit in your lap and, trying to get him to buy into that viewpoint for the holiday season. I get that. That makes sense. But for those of us that's not an issue, I don't understand why somebody would be so upset with my lifestyle. So if we're using common sense, let's do something that's, a correlation. So you claiming my lifestyle is paganistic is equivalent to me getting on to you if, for example, let's say you decide to have a get-together or a book club or something like that at your house February 2nd and saying, well, since you did that, you support Black Lives Matter. And the reason is because on February 2nd is a Super Bowl, nationally recognized Super Bowl. And in the Super Bowl, there are people that are in the NFL. And those people in the NFL are subservient to Black Lives Matter. They're sympathetic to Black Lives Matter. They kneel for the anthem, and they are Black Lives Matter supporters. So therefore, since you had any get-together on February 2nd, you support Black Lives Matter. That is absolutely ridiculous, but that is the same thing that you're doing with a guy like me who dares to grow his own food and have family and friends over to partake in a celebration of Thanksgiving. Let me throw something else at you. Let's say that your birthday happens to fall on November 26th, right? If you celebrate your birthday on November 26th, are you celebrating a paganistic holiday? Are you celebrating something that is considered paganistic, even though the intention has nothing to do with Thanksgiving? Are you still celebrating that holiday? Are you giving credence to that holiday? Honest question. And the reason why I ask these questions is because it goes down to a deeper level of why. I get you have a belief, but where does that stem from? What is the rationale logic behind it? And to be quite frank with you, I am trying my best to understand it, but I can't. And I've watched quite a few videos. I know a chick named Rachel Steffens. She put one on. She actually had a couple on about the topic, and I agree with a lot of what she has to say. I mean, obviously, if you are dressing up as the Easter Bunny or, Santa Claus for your kids and intentionally lying to them, yeah, I think that's kind of messed up. I don't think you should do that. But I don't see how that is applicable to a guy like me who, is growing his own food on a homestead in the countryside and giving thanks to the Most High for everything that he does for me. And like I said, Thanksgiving is not just on November 26th. It's every freaking day. And I can tell you, I love having Thanksgiving celebrations all the time. It's a wonderful thing. So I was able to reach out to Rachel, and she messaged back, but she didn't address any of the points at all. She just, reiterated the fact that, she hates when Christians say, well, what about my heart? What about the intention? And she never articulated what she was actually trying to say. So, like I said, I've watched the video a couple times and I'm not getting it. Like I said, I understand the aforementioned of dressing up as Santa Claus or dressing up as the Easter Bunny and intentionally lying to your kids. I can see how that can be not very good, but I don't see how somebody living on a homestead that's growing their own food and is living off the land thanks to the Most High, thanks to all the blessings the Most High is able to provide for me. I don't see how me giving thanks, regardless on what day it is a bad thing. I understand to each their own. Obviously, you have your own convictions that you're going to have to work these things through. And I don't want anybody to stumble. And if you feel convicted, then you need to act on your premonitions and you need to act on what's right in your heart. But for a guy like me, I don't have any, I don't have any problem celebrating God no matter what day it is and giving thanks to God no matter what day it is. I'm not going to give credence or power to a situation that happened on an unknown day thousands of years ago by pagans. I'm not going to give them that power because I think that's stupid. What those pagans did back in the day and whatever country that they may have done it in and whatever time they may have done it, they have to take responsibility for that. That's between them and God. That has nothing to do with what I do here on my homestead. I am responsible for what I do on my homestead. And I don't think that I need to put a limit on when I give thanks to God. That's not something that I feel convicted of and that I feel bad for. So, like I said, you can follow your convictions, but you can literally make a case for any day of the year that something bad happened previous. You can. I mean, if you really want to go down that road, you can find an excuse of somebody did something bad on this day at this time in the past. So that's it for the video. Those are my honest questions. If you're one of these people that holds this, ideological viewpoint, that's great. Follow your convictions, but I just want to know. I mean, I'm somebody that's curious, and unlike a lot of people that are on your side of the aisle who won't talk, won't have the conversation, they just want to rah. Please articulate your point, explain it to me, explain where my faults are. Because at the end of the day, I'm not seeing it. And it's not for me to cast blame, cast judgment. That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm super curious as to how it's considered a bad thing, me doing what I'm doing. And if it's a conviction thing, I get it. We're all going to feel convicted about different things, but this narrative is being pushed as Christians should not, because it's evil, it's paganistic, it's horrible. And that's kind of where I get confused, because I get you have convictions, but you should be able to articulate those convictions if it's truly, something that's evil and sinful. For example, big plant and animal agriculture is convicting to me. That's why I put so much effort in growing and raising my own food, because the stats are horrific. I think it's horrible that over 700 million birds each year in the USA alone intentionally are poisoned using pesticides, herbicides, fungicides, and other petrochemicals, just so that we can have produce. I think it's horrible that we're killing our oceans. I think it's horrible that the environment that God has given us, we are poisoning and we are intentionally destroying for the convenience of going to a grocery store and buying a GMO hormone-fed animal, or to buy GMO genetically modified food. I feel very convicted about that, but I would never say, hey, if you're a Christian, don't shop at the grocery store because that's a sin. And I can articulate how horrible those industries are. And I'm not even talking about the humane aspect of it. I'm not even talking about the torturous conditions they're living in. I'm not talking about any of that. I'm just talking about the sheer facts, numbers of death, destruction. Like I said, I'm not even talking about the humane or inhumane treatment of it all, which is horrible. And like I said, that's the conviction that I feel and that I have. And that's why I do what I do, because I do feel convicted about that. And I do feel like the environment is my responsibility. And I do feel like that my actions should mirror my beliefs. But I'm never going to tell a Christian and berate a Christian for going to the grocery store and buying, chicken nuggets, So like I said, I get the conviction thing. But if we are going to sell this narrative as Christians shall not or should not because it's sinful, I'd really like to see some articulation. So that's all I got for the video. I hope you guys liked it. I hope it was thought-provoking. If you're somebody that agrees with me, awesome. Let me know in the comment section below what you thought. And if you're somebody that doesn't agree with me, please explain it to me. Nobody has been willing to take the time to break it down for me and have me understand what it is that I guess you guys are actually intending or meaning or any of that, because I'm not seeing it, and I think that I have very good handle on what it is that you're trying to say. I just don't believe that what you're saying is always applicable. And as always, guys, long live the Republic.